too high for climbing. It's a long way down, but I don't mind if we're trying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have Nick Doe with me, music producer. He's been on the podcast before. He's doing much more great things in the Fort Worth area. Nick, how's it going, man? Thanks for coming back on the podcast.
It's going good, man. I appreciate being on.
Yes, sir. So we're just kind of talking off air. How like you're like been just killing it in Fort Worth. So what's that been like? What's the Fort Worth been like for you? Life been like?
Yeah, it took a little bit getting used to at first because, being from Amarillo, there's not a lot to do, but
Yeah,
just figuring out where everything's at, always have to have to use maps now all the time. But uh, there's just so much to do. There's go to a bunch of concerts now. There's one week I saw like Zach Bryan and then Travis Scott in the same week, and that would never happen in the Panhandle. You gotta plan a lot of trips for that.
you know you're
Uh,
looking. So go ahead.
No, I'm enjoying every moment of it though. It's kind of like I was ready to move on and
Yeah.
get more of that life every day.
Most definitely, man. I mean, it's just like you have to, like you said, you have to plan. Like if you want to go do something, like there's really not much to do here in the Texas Panhandle. A whole lot, so a little bit of nothing going on. But maybe we get like a contract, a big name contract. But it's like if you you have to like go to Lubbock for one of those kind of things. That's a maybe if they come by.
Yeah.
But it's more so Dallas area, Fort Worth area. So, but you said that you saw Travis Scott and all of them. What's that like?
Travis Scott's concert was insane. It was at the American Airlines Center, and just the production value was incredible. The visuals and the sets, and I was upset because the net we went day one because he did 2 days, and day two is when Offset he brought Offset out, and that's like one of my favorite rappers. So I was like, dang man, we were on the wrong one, but no, it was incredible. That was my bucket list concert because I've heard he puts on a show.
Oh wow, That's one person, right? That like I had to make on my put on my bucket list is go see is Travis Scott. I'm a big Travis fan.
Yeah, he was worth it. And yeah, the Zach Bryan concert was good too. Is that like a festival? So he was headlining, I guess, the first night of it. Is at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Oh wow,
So we saw that. And that was incredible. But yeah, I'm just thankful to be able to watch all these concerts now.
yeah, that's something I think I'd want to do. Like, because I my with my degree, it's so broad. I feel like I need a
Mhm.
bigger city to go live in, and with so it feels like if that's like one thing, like one pro at least is like moving to a bigger metroplex, whatever. It's like you have so many people just coming in, like so many people, like bigger artists, if that makes sense, like coming in because they have so many like they have like a plethora of just like
Yeah,
venues to come to.
I know. And I live pretty close to the Dickies Arena, and if you just look on SeatGeek, there's always somebody coming through. So if
Yeah,
you ever get bored, you can just see who's in town that night. You know.
yeah. So like you're a music producer, obviously, but like, is there like when it comes to like I know you're like you're so used to the music side of things, like stuff like that, but like does like for you does like venue like does that play a lot into it, like a so?
Yeah, I think so because um, that's a lot of like the business side too of getting a venue booked and whatnot. You got to make sure that artists can even fill the seats, on that.
Yeah.
But a great venue makes a difference because we want some concerts at the Moody Center in
Mhm.
Austin. We saw like Creed there, and that was incredible. Or not Creed, Nickelback. We saw
Oh, really?
Nickelback there randomly, and that was incredible. Even though we had, um, I guess, nosebleed seats, they weren't like really nosebleed. Like get an incredible
Oh,
view.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just capacity. Just Dickies Arena is really beautiful. It's a really nice arena. Yeah, I haven't been to like a venue that was I consider just like a really bad venue, so I don't have any like too much like negative experiences on that. But I mean, Amarillo has some good venues with Azteca is pretty big. I know they had Big X the Plague perform there recently.
Yeah.
Um,
Some real big people coming through like those like that like I want to say a while back we had I want to say maybe Blink 182 or something like that come through a while back. So we do get some people coming through.
Yeah, I'm sure it just costs a pretty penny for a promoter to book a big artist to come to Amarillo, you know?
Most definitely. Because I never think about that stuff, honestly. Like, as a fan of music, I don't think about like, I mean, as much maybe as like a venue like Dickies Arena. Obviously, it sounds a lot better than the Emerald Civic Center to some degree, I imagine. But so obviously, I mean, that's something I felt like I always thought of as like never really thought of as like as a music producer like yourself, like you put so much effort into like a song, like producing a
Mhm.
song, and then like it's gonna get played to thousands of people at a concert. You know, it's like, man, like what is the venue like? What's it like the atmosphere and stuff like that? I guess I never really thought about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I never even put that in consideration either until one of Blue Bucks Clan's producers that, you know, or they're with him in LA, like he would send me videos of them performing a song that I produced and just seeing everybody uh you know, wrap the words along like with them is incredible. It was a weird feeling because like, dang, that's that's trippy because you
It
know
must
we're
be,
just like be from Amarillo. You don't expect much
yeah,
from that.
it must be kind of a crazy deal to have like a song you made, and it's like people are like rapping over a song you made, like they know the ins and outs of it. Like that'd be so crazy to think, honestly. Like, is that like when you first heard that, was that like a mind trip for you?
I think that was because I'll be honest, even when the song like when I like make music and then somebody raps over it and releases it, I don't really like feel much. Like it's just whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it's because I've heard the songs like the beat so much that I'm like, all right, like it's it's nothing like new to me. But hearing other people that you don't know, you never met in your life, and they're reacting to it and they're singing it word for word, I think that's a very trippy feeling. Like
Yeah.
that's the only time I was like, all right, that's kind of that's kind of wild.
Yeah. That's it. It's gonna be such a wild thing too. Like you said, it makes perfect sense. Like you made the song over. Like you've heard it like many times, like perfecting
Mhm.
it, make sure it gets sent out the right way, you know. But the fact that like people hear it for the first time, like, oh my God, that's like have that reaction, you know, like if someone so like Eminem or someone like one of these big guys like dropped a song like that's so cool, then it's like to him it's probably nothing. But like when he hears like
Mhm.
rapping it word for word, like back to you, and like I can only imagine what that feeling is like. Gotta be
Yeah,
so high though.
it is wild because even you know, those YouTube channels that will review a song or something, just seeing them react to it's just something about someone you've never met before, just you know, listening to it and providing their opinion on it. Because
Yeah.
usually, like, you just hear opinions of like people in your peer group, you know, people you already know. So it's like whatever. But yeah, the total stranger aspect is what's really weird.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a YouTuber or a person react to one of your songs that or no?
Yeah, I forgot what their name was, but one of them was actually like a pretty big channel, and
What
what
was that
song was
like?
it? It was like that one was crazy because that was um that was like the first time it's ever happened. It was for like for that song. I think it was "Where You At" by uh, Joey Fats and A Reese,
Oh yeah.
and that one because there's a big community uh, fan base behind A Reese especially, and
Yeah.
I guess they all they all hounded that YouTuber to yeah you need to review this song, you need to review this song, and he did eventually, and that one was just like a first for me, so it was just again very weird. It's a very weird feeling.
I bet I would imagine like that would be so crazy, like the fact that like someone found your song in the first place. And secondly, they're gonna review it, you know, mass produce it, like
Mhm.
get like your 2 cents on it. Could go one way or the other. And it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like so much into it. I'd be so scared I'd be petrified, honestly. Like I put so much effort into it, and someone's like someone like you said, you don't know their name, you never met them a day in your life. And all of a sudden
Mhm.
putting on YouTube like for hundreds or thousands of people to see, it's like, okay, what's your thoughts on it? Like, okay,
I know,
well,
because like again, like with those reviews, like we're not paying for it for them to say
yeah,
anything nice. You know, it's like they made that video because they wanted to, and you
yeah,
know, on their own free will, and it's like they can say whatever they want. You know, at the end of the day,
yeah,
you would
you really
hope that
can't
they
do nothing
liked
about it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's your thoughts. I mean, I don't know what I can do for you.
yeah.
And
So
that's
you just
crazy.
hope you're like, all right, hopefully they like it at least, or that they don't just totally trash it. But you know, they could seriously say whatever they want. You know.
Yeah. Do you think it could be pretty easy for people to get jaded that way? Like, oh man, like I don't like this song, like blah blah blah. Like, do you think it's like that, or excuse me, or or do you think people could be like, you know what, that's a motivator if someone like, you know what, I put a lot of effort to this one song and they review it and maybe think, oh, maybe not negative, but maybe they, as many reviews as you like,
Hmm.
they could be a big, you think that could be like a big chip on your
Yeah,
shoulder?
I think for sure because honestly, it goes both ways. Because you know, someone could say 10 nice things, and then that someone could say one bad thing, and
Yeah,
I guess it's human nature to just really think about that one negative thing. And I guess in music, you could also have your ego step into it. It's like, oh, you don't know anything about making music, like you don't know this, that your opinion's invalid. Like
yeah,
at the end of the day, like you don't need to be a you don't need to be a music producer or rapper to like or dislike music. You know, you can everyone has their own views on it. Um, I don't know, like it's if it's a super negatively reviewed, like you probably need to reassess what you're doing, or you know, just try to refine your craft as much as you can. But it's a weird line. You could either take it negatively or um, make a good situation out of it at the end of the day.
for sure. Because the thing about music too is like you may know more than me about. Obviously, you're gonna know more about me than music because I'm just a person who listens to music, but you're the person making it. But like music, it sounds like it could be so obviously so like subjective. Like
Hmm.
it's different. Like someone may love country, but for me, it's like whatever
Yeah.
kind of thing. If it's on, it's on. But like people can, like you said, people can do like that too. Like you said, where making it could be like one person may not be someone else's cup of tea. But you said that you go the other way too, where people love that song. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
like finding that even balance of like, okay, what's kind of cipher through it. That's like a crazy trap too. It's like, okay, people really love this, but like not get too much in your own head about it. Like, but at the same time, don't go the other way. It's like such a crazy. Excuse me. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So it's like that's like a crazy thing where it's like people could be like, oh my gosh, people don't like my song, or they really, really love it. It's like, man,
Yeah.
as a music producer, I could not live in that world.
Yeah. Because again, too, like there is only so much you can control. Someone like figure out why they don't like the song. I guess if you had negative feedback, do they not like it because they just don't like the genre, or are you not singing in key? Is the mixing bad? Like there's stuff you can't control, and you know you gotta master those skills, just the technical stuff of making music. But if it's they just don't like it, you know, it's whatever. But if your songwriting's bad, your singing's not where it should be, or the beat's just not a good pick for you, like that stuff you can always fix, you can always get better at. So it's just figure out what they don't like about it, and then you can move from there. But if it's just I don't like this song, then there's just really nothing you can. But like you can't really do much about that. You know, that's I wouldn't focus too much on it.
It's more of a them thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's always crazy. That's a crazy road too. Like it's like, you need to just let it roll off your shoulders type of thing. I guess to the best of your abilities. I guess if that makes sense.
yeah. My advice is like if you did have really anything, getting a lot of exposure, it could be outside of music too. It could be just I don't know your art or videography or something. It's almost better to just like stay off the internet in that
Yeah.
regard. Like I would just people because a full time job for them, they start looking at every single comment what somebody has to say, and then it doesn't do you any good. I would just stay off the internet and just focus on what you're doing.
Yeah. Because people nowadays with like the access to social media, it's like so crazy. They can nitpick you for anything. Like
Hmm.
they'll get mad at you because like they say like you can walk on water and people will say it's because you couldn't swim kind of thing. It's like people could like hate you so much for something like, man, this guy's not good at this because blah 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 or whatever. Like it's most of those people who are like probably or sitting on the beanbag eating Cheetos all day, kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's one of those people, I guess, sometimes.
yeah. No, people definitely get on the internet just to they wake up ready to
Do
hate
something.
on somebody or something. So
Yeah. But yeah, it's always at the end of the day though. It's like do what you love, love what you do.
exactly, just the internet's just a byproduct of it, but just focus on what you can control, and just if you like making music, just focus on making music, man. You don't need to be on the internet 24/7 looking at all that stuff. I don't think anybody is mentally equipped for that.
No, no, definitely not, dude. Especially lately. But yeah, so with you though, it feels like you've been using the internet to your advantage. It feels like because like some of those songs, like I was just talking like praising you for one of your songs earlier, "Money on the Floor" with Zoe Fetts and A Reese. It's just like that song I've been playing all day. Not, I mean, obviously I knew you were coming on the podcast today, but like that's something that felt like I heard. I might listen to. I'm like, it gets me. It feels like it's a chill song. Like I mean,
Yeah,
like I had you posted that like a screenshot of it whenever it came out, and I've listened. I saw it. I'm like, no, this is pretty dope, dude. Like this is pretty cool. Like, but it's stuff like that too. Like if you use it in the right way, it's pretty cool.
yeah. You definitely want to market your stuff and promote it. Try to get it in front of as much eyes as possible. And internet's just a really easy way to do that. It's very quick to post something on, Instagram, or like just an announcement like, hey, this is coming out, or we got this going on. But
Yeah,
I haven't done any like marketing strategy all that much or anything, because a lot of my social media exposure, I guess, would be riding off the rappers. If they post it and they tag me, then that's kind of how uh we got more eyeballs on it on my page anyways. But
yeah, kind of like a word of mouth kind of thing, if in a way.
no,
Yeah,
exactly. I'm just As a producer, it's like if you're not like Metro Boomin or something, it's hard to be like the front runner, the guy in charge, the face of the music. But I'm cool with chilling behind the scenes a little bit in that regard.
so I guess you really don't want to be like the DJ Khaled having 87 different tags in one song and bumping out all of them at one beginning of the song.
Yeah, like the only thing I do like about DJ Khaled is the ability to make those out. Like he just makes the albums. Like
Yeah,
he he may not be making the beat or anything, but he's putting together the people that he wants on the song, and he gets to drop his own music. Like he doesn't. That's a good part. Like not relying on the rapper. Like if you could build enough big enough brand, or just have enough pull in the music industry, you can make your own projects. And I think that's like a really cool aspect or
yeah.
possibility that producers usually don't, historically haven't had. But DJ Khaled and Metro especially, I think paved the way in that regard.
Yeah. Metro, he's someone I've been listening to a lot too recently. He's like, I don't know, like I want to say an entrepreneur, but I don't know if that's the right word. Like he's like, I don't know, I guess you could call it for lack of better terms or better words, but like he's like his music, like from where he came, like how he got popular to where he's at now, like the Heroes and Villains album. I listened to it, like that's
Mhm.
one I've been listening to a lot lately. And it just feels like that's the thing about his music and just music in general is like, especially his, it feels like no matter where you're at, you can go back in time, like it still stands the test of time in a way. It feels like the just from the beginning intro is like to where Future comes in and starts rapping. It
Yeah,
feels like that's just like it gives me goosebumps still to this day.
yeah. He just has so much, that he's so much creative control in in that aspect. 'Cause, uh, when you're making your own project, you can say, I want to do these transitions. I want to use this, sample to roll over. I want this artist to come in there. Like he's on like acting as a true producer rather than like a beat maker.
Yeah,
Um, I'm still like on the beat making aspect. I'm not signed by a label to have a budget to make this own project under my name. Like,
yeah,
but that eventually would be a goal for sure. But
yeah,
yeah, he's going high level
for sure.
production. Like he's got a lot of resources behind him, and uh, he's made countless relationships in music. So
Yeah, most definitely. So like uh, for you, like how big is you mentioned creative control earlier. Like how important is that for you? Like are you at the end of the day, are you looking for more like as a producer getting things together or like a beat maker or both? Like how far is like your like what is creative like how important is creative control for you?
I mean, right now it just depends how much leverage you have, like or what situation you're in. Because I'm just at the end of the day making beats and sending them off. I'm not usually like in the studio with anybody, so at the end of the day, I can't really say what the rapper can say or not say on the beat, or it's up to them really um at that point. But eventually I would like to get to it where I do have way more creative control,
Yeah.
and that really comes from making your own projects. But I don't know, that's more of a long-term vision on that. But yeah, it's just make the beat hard, make it as best as you can so people like the beat, and whatever the rapper says, he says on it. Assuming like everything works out, like it gets placed and all that.
Yeah. So like, is there like a Metro Boomin song or album that you go to like, or like you ever like, oh man, this is like when I think of music producing or make baking, I make I can't even speak beat making. There you go. Like, if you ever one like that, like, oh my gosh, this is what like is greatness. Like, what I like want to show people, like, this is what it's how it should be done.
Yeah, that I mean the album you were talking about, the superheroes and villains,
Yeah.
that one was just incredible because all the transitions and the mix-ups and the beats. Because I felt like for a long time a lot of rap albums were just compilations of singles. Like there wasn't really an idea, a theme put into it. And when you had the opportunity to make your own album like that, he was in a position to put all the intro to be, the big cinematic intro leading into the other songs, and then mix ups, like the beat switches, like that to me is like that takes like a lot of talent to do that. So I think from and rap production, especially like current rap, like that album is outstanding.
Yeah, really is. It feels like it's all for me. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking for myself. I can't speak for anybody else, but it feels like for me, whenever like someone like Metro or someone like that can like they're making an album, like you said, they're not really making like every song is like a single, and like you said earlier, like mentioned, like when you make it, I feel like everything like in the details makes it like one song like kind of like transitions into another one, like
Hmm.
that was like it's all in the details, like minor details. Like he could have just not did like Metro could have not like done that, but like the fact that he went like okay, like he just the little stuff like that, like that makes a huge impact. That's what I really like too. It's like hearing stuff like that, like the cinematic stuff going
Yeah,
into rap. It's like that's what I like. It feels like it's just like okay, it's just like there's like a common thing going through it, if that makes sense.
yeah, that's what I like about a lot of the Travis Scott albums, is like the
Yeah.
production value is it's incredible. Like even Utopia was just outstanding. It feels like, I don't know, like it's a movie. There's different scenes, different cameos or characters that come in. And that's what I like thinking. Uh, and projects and albums, I like thinking of it as like if you were to make a movie, uh, like this scene is for that. Like what's the main storyline, like all that stuff. So
For sure. I think one for me, like, he has a lot of great albums that are like that. Travis does, but they're like that. But I think one that really stands out to me right now is Astro Road, where
mhm.
that's a really big thing too, where it's like it kind of like it's really like unique. It's like very Travis is very like in a good way, very unique and different. Like his albums like all sound different from each other. Like Birds in the like was it Birds in the Trap, whatever, Birds in the Night,
Yeah,
stuff like that, like Goose, like all those different songs. Stan he does a Travis song, don't get me wrong, but like that album compared to like Asteroid are very like
yeah,
night and day, if that makes sense too. So that's what I like about it too. It's like all about the production of a song or the like, the what leads to this song, like, like sicko mode into the next song and so forth.
yeah, yeah. Like it's almost like each album that comes out, studio album, that artists like The Weeknd and Travis Scott, Kanye, even like
Yeah,
it's like a new world's being created, and there's a new character to be played, and that's what the album is. It's like that theme, that world, and each album is a different story to be told. So
yeah. It's definitely like and I think the Weeknd's a really good version of that. Good like example of that too, because he's so like it's very unique. Like every album's different from the last one for sure. Like his last album, like it was so like that's not his last album, Starboy. It
yeah,
sounds so much different from like any other one that he's like it's like any other ones. Like it feels like that Starboy's my favorite album of his, but it doesn't mean like it feels like you can go back to like any Weekend album, like oh, I like this album, or I like that album. It's like Yeah, because he has like so many different like it feels like it's different genres in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's a good way of saying it too. It's like because it feels like each album is different because like you said like you said he has a story to tell.
yeah. They're just you just look at it even from what he's wearing to how he's marketing. Like
Yeah.
he just it's like he's a star boy. He was star boy for that album, and then what was it? After Hours. He was
Yeah.
it was more that 80s, but it was like kind of a
Yeah.
I don't know, like a horror film a little bit,
But
with the
yeah,
music videos and stuff. So
that's different too. Yeah. For sure. Like when you look at albums like that for you, like as a music person, like I'm like this. The reason why I'm saying like as you, because like like obviously like the insights of that stuff. Like
yeah,
you say that stuff, but like as a producer, if someone like a big name like came up to you, like Weekend or Kanye or like Match or anybody like came up to you, like, hey, I got this idea. I want you to help me produce this like little album or whatever this album. Like, do you like what do you like? That's something like you would like want to sit down, like, okay, like what's going on? Like with that, do you see that as a challenge or like do you see that as like, okay, let's go, let's have fun, let's be creative about it? Like that's something like you think you would like enjoy doing, obviously.
yeah, I would like to because first I would definitely want to see where their headspace at. Like I'd be like, all right, send me some references of what you're feeling because they have an idea. They just need to figure out how to put it on,
Yeah.
the DAW, like uh, the workstation, the audio workstation. So if they had references, like I'm sure, like The Weeknd, his was a lot of the '80s pop music. So I'm sure he had songs that were like, I kind of want to do this, but in our own way. So just figure out what they want, and then they're coming to you too at the same time because they like what you do personally as a producer. So it's almost like you're taking their ideas, their references, and putting your own little spin on it as well. Like they want what you can do, but then they want it in this like way. So it's kind of just a good blend. You got to figure out how to blend everything. So I definitely would love to do that one day for sure.
That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty dope, man. Just know that like Nick, yeah, he has a song in this album where he has like he helped like had a big part of this album. Like that'd be so sick. Like to hear like what that headspace is like of a person of an artist, because like they're wanting to actually make it like a whole album, not just a song, but like to see like where their headspace is at. Like okay,
Yeah,
I got like the sample or the song from like whatever decade. Like this is how I'm feeling, and maybe this is my message I want to get across, and boom, like it's like an equation. Like that's how I'm seeing it. It's like as an equation. Like here's the song I want to like for the meaning, and like here's the message, and boom, like let's put them together. Let's see what comes out of it.
yeah. Especially when the artist has a lot of direction to begin with. So it's like I don't know. It's different from making everything from scratch because I feel like you could you could be
Yeah,
stuck there for a very long time.
for
You want to
sure.
get the album out the end of the day, but if they have a clear direction and you can be a part of that and make it come to life, I think that's what's really awesome as being a producer, just getting the ideas from somebody's head and try
Yeah,
to make it a physical thing.
yeah. Do you have anybody like in particular like if like snap your fingers, it could be happening now. Like you would like want to go like have like is there anybody like you would want to like work with now? Like any big name?
uh yeah, I definitely want to work with more of the Texas artists for sure. Like I want to work with Big X the Plug and
Oh yeah,
uh Mexican OT, Tame Money probably. Like just a lot of these Texas artists that are really making some noise. uh I'd love to work with Offset because I said earlier, like he is one of my favorite rappers. Future, would love to work with Future. But I think like if I were realistically, like I can't just reach out right now and say, hey, here's beats for Future. But I don't know. I feel like the Dallas scene I would like to be more part of.
yeah. That'd be so cool because like we were talking about this off air, I believe. I don't know if we talked about it on air or not, but like excuse me. So like the DFW area, it's like so like so unique because it feels like it's two different worlds, like I mentioned earlier. Like how like you can wait to like a huge audience, especially in that DFW area, or like
Hmm.
you can get contact with so many people there, like make a name for yourself and then like really go from there. Like okay, like oh yeah, this song like I can make a song with so and so, and I can like just like it's like not so much of what you know, but who you know kind of thing, you know?
Oh, definitely. It's the golden rule, really.
Yeah,
Everyone's connected somehow. someone's DJ might be a tour DJ for an artist, and maybe that DJ knows someone's engineer or somebody else's producer, and you'll be surprised how many people are uh, just like they all know each other. They're all involved in music in some capacity. So,
Yeah,
and again, it does take, you want to get your foot in the door, whether that's through meeting people in person or you make a beat for somebody, and that just opens up the door for a lot of opportunities.
for sure. That's all it takes sometimes. Like, a person who knows a person kind of thing, or maybe just know a person who like, oh yeah, I know so and so. Like, shaking hands with people. Like, okay, like what's next? Like, I know this person. Like, what's the next opportunity? That sometimes like it can just lead you to great things. That later down the
Yeah,
line, hopefully.
yeah. I mean, I can attest to that too, because like just based off my first beat that I made, like that pocket watching song, like just off of that, I've met so many people, and it's just incredible because it's a little snowball effect. Really, it's hard to get the first thing in to be able to do that, but once you do, like you could really be in the same room as a lot of people.
Most definitely. It's just so cool too. Like, it's just what you said. It goes from like that'd be so cool. Like like you said, like people are like singing like your song back to these rappers, and people are revealing you stuff, your videos and your songs. Like you said earlier, I can only imagine like how much more bigger and broader it's going to get, bigger and bigger. Like who knows? Like the whole world's going to be doing it. Like it's just so
Yeah,
crazy. Like it's just the fact that like one like you started out with a dream. Now it's like, oh man, these people are like doing much more with my music than I ever thought, kind of thing.
yeah. Like I would never anticipate it, even though I'm not
Bummer.
Grammy nominated or anything yet, but just the fact that people are even reacting to it, and you're just making beats in your room in Amarillo.
Yeah. To
So
do something that big, yeah,
yeah, so it is cool.
for sure. It's just such a crazy thing too. It's like, I'm sorry, 1 second. Uh, sorry, I thought I got a message that sent me somewhere else. But yeah, so it's just kind of crazy that the fact that like, so like you're to making beats in Amarillo, Texas, to like he said doing great things now. It's like, it's like you can be up for before you know it, you'll be up for a Grammy. Who knows when one of these days maybe.
Yeah, like one of my friends that I met, and I was in LA once for like a studio session, and he was I forgot what he was doing. Like he was just making loops, like melodies and stuff, but it was like his own style, like very electronic sounding, but for rap.
Oh yeah.
And now he co-produced "Just Wanna Rock" by Lil Uzi. So he was at the Grammys because it was up for
Oh,
song of the or rap song of the year or something. So
so
he was there, and I was like, dude, that is so crazy. Like I met him right before he really like blew up as a producer. So it was really cool to see.
that's so cool, man. That's like, what are the chances to you, dude? That's so cool.
Yeah, I was like, that is awesome, man. Just to see it from like he was already having success like when I met him, but he just blew up. It was incredible.
Yeah, that's so dope. Like you just do something in the studio, next thing like you're sitting at the Grammys or something. It's
Yeah,
just doing something like so unique. Doing what you love.
yeah. I really enjoyed just watching people around me, like seeing their career in real time, from like watching them blow up for the first time and then watching them get their Grammy nominations or songs just blow up. Like it's really cool.
For sure, most definitely. I mean, is that something like interests you? I mean, obviously it interests you. Like do something like that. Like see your hard work pay off. But like, is it like what's like for you? Like kind of a huge question to ask in front of you. I'm sorry. But like, what's like the ultimate goal for you? Like in music producing?
Oh man, I
Really
think
tough thing.
that is tough. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I'm not so much worried about winning a Grammy. Like I don't consider it, if you win a Grammy that you're like the best or anything, but it's the fact that you've had so much success that you're even nominated. I think that you've you've done big things, I assume, before that to even get noticed.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just I definitely want the success from it. So like you can just all I do is make beats, or produce music. I don't have to do anything else. I think that that's probably like that's probably the main goal, I think, is like just be in a position to just all I have to do is make beats every day and then not focus on anything else.
Most definitely. It sounds like you're really doing good at it, dude. Like I can't praise you enough. Like you said, like I said earlier, like I was listening to Money on the Floor, you can tell like you love your craft and your craft is like really flourishing because like it just feels like just like I literally had I played it like 3, 4 times in a row. Like I was like
Appreciate it.
I was listening to like the first time I heard it, I was like when you hear songs like you hear like the actual like to hear the song, then you play it again. Like for me, I was like, oh yeah, you listen to it for the words. And then like I hear it again, like, oh, this is what he said. Okay, then you play like
Mhm.
few more times. Like, can you catch things you really didn't catch the first few times? You know, that's what I try to do with music. I really like. Like if I hear something like catching me off guard, like in a good way, like, and that's really good. Though, like how he did that. I listen to it again. Like it just takes a few times to listen to.
Yeah, I love that. Like when you listen to a song and let's say you listen to it once, a couple times a day, and then a week later you start listening to it, you really notice, oh, now I can hear the background harmonies and the vocals and a sound or two that I didn't hear in the back like before. So it's almost like you're listening to a brand new song over again. You know, once you your ear picks up on everything.
Yeah. Just recently, before not I mean before this, before your song, the most recent song I could think of was I think it was a Nipsey Hussle song. It was Double Up. He has a
Yeah.
song, and I heard it. I randomly heard it for the first time, like randomly, like it went on shuffle, like one day, like it came up on Spotify. I was driving, and like it was one of those songs. Like I heard it, I'm like, oh, why have I never heard this song before? Like you hear it, and like you hear like the stuff, and like I'm catching stuff like like I'm driving to work with it on. I mean, you catch it later. I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't hear that part. Or maybe like you said, it's
Yeah.
like you like a week or two later you hear it. I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. You catch like a verse or part of the verse you hear like, oh, that's when it makes sense. Or how he like caught that lyric in that little uh pocket. You know, like stuff like that. Like most people probably don't really pay attention on.
Yeah, and it honestly like helps when you listen to a song on different systems like your headphones or
Yeah,
in your car and then on speakers. Like you just pick up on so much stuff you would never realize.
for sure. When a couple more questions, we'll head out of here. But thank you for your time, Nick. But so I say like whenever you're producing, are you producing for like it's hard to it's how can I it's so weird to ask this. I don't know how to like are you producing for like like what do you when you go through like process of making a song like are you more of a drummer for like drums 808 are you like melody like what are you like when you create a song like what's your process like what's first.
Uh, usually I'll start with the melody, not even so much the full melody, but if you can get like a chord progression down or like maybe I like to think of a hook rather than like the chorus or something. Like what's the hook of the beat? Like what's something that someone's gonna remember from the beat? What
Yeah,
is it? The chords, the melodies, or something? As long as you have some little I don't know intoxicating aspect of the beat that people love to like that's what they want to listen to. I try to figure out what that is, like what's like the main theme,
mm,
and then I'll move to the drums, like just put your clap or snare, and then just to get the rhythm down, and then the hi hats, like program that in next, and then like the kick, and then the 808s, like the bass, and then after that, that's when you can start laying it out and then put in your little ear candy and sections. But yeah, like I'll just start with just what's the main idea of the beat, what's like the meat of it.
for sure. That's such a cool process because like I never like you said I'm more in the media podcasting stuff so like
Mhm.
when I go edit something, I'm like, okay, what's comes next? But like when it comes to producing, like I didn't know like everybody feels like everybody's got their own way of going about things. So I always thought that was interesting. Like I wonder what like when I listen to like you said, Money on the Floor, like or whatever song, like this is pretty cool. Like the atmosphere of the song, like overall was really cool. I'm like, I wonder what your like step by step, not step by step, like what your overall like just I don't know, so process was like
Yeah.
like I get inspiration by blah blah blah, and you like the melody or the chorus and stuff like that. So I was like that was pretty unique.
Yeah, definitely. I just everyone has their own process, but you could even start with the drums if you wanted to, and then just see what happens there. It's just sometimes you don't get a melody that you're in love with, but you have this drum loop that you made that was awesome, and then you can build off of that. So you'll be surprised what you can come up with. Just even trying things different ways because you never want to be stuck doing the same process every single time because you'll get close to the same result or be in, like a writer's block almost. So never be afraid to like just try something a different way because there's always more than one way to do anything. So
Yes, sir. Well, that's really great. Like really cool. Like hear that. Like you said, there's obviously more. Excuse me. Obviously more than one day. Like one way. Like you said, go about something. That's really true. Because like the way if I did something like I can go about this one way, but for the other person's like, hold up, like that's not how that's not how I process. Like mentally, that's
yeah,
not like how am I going to go about it. Like we had the same result, but like it's like all about the process how we got there. But yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Sir. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time, man. Really fun. I felt like we could talk for ever and ever,
Oh,
but
no, yeah.
it felt like it's been almost 45 minutes. I'm like, Nick's got play, but other better things to do right now. But yeah, for sure. Nick, I can't thank you for your time again, dude, and can't wait to see all the other accomplishments you just blow up, dude.
Hey man, I really appreciate you having on. You're doing an outstanding job for real. Love all the questions, and I'm
Awesome.
excited. Hopefully, the next time we talk, I'm have a lot more to talk about, new stuff going on. So
They're good, man. I thank you, can't thank you enough, and man, it feels like it's just sit back and just talk about music is something like I obviously love listening to music. So the fact that we can go like in like a little bit in depth, or at least chop it up a little bit, just to pick your brain, pick each other's brains a little bit, just like hear what we got to hear. But yeah, thank you for your time again, and super fun. And yeah, thank you to everybody listening, and hope you have a great rest of the weekend. And thank you again, bro.
yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you. See ya.
Alrighty, see you, man.